Hi, and welcome to Little Mirrors. I'm Yule,
I'm Iolanthe.
and this is Wagner. I'm not sure if he's in frame, but we've got our dog in the studio with us again today. So today we're going to be talking about the second month with our baby Agla. She is, well, obviously 2 months old now, and quite a lot has happened in the last month. Maybe not as much as in the first month, because we needed to split that up into three videos, but nonetheless it's been very enjoyable and very eventful. So the first thing that we have noticed this month with Agla is a lot more emotional expression. So she is engaging, she's smiling, she's actually playing. She's been I would say there's a range of emotions, including sometimes flirtiness, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, she bats her eyelashes and she giggles and she raises her shoulders and she makes these little cute cooing sounds when her dad's around. I don't know if that's masterful biology in practice, but it works a treat.
I think she learned it from you.
Yeah, probably from me.
But she really enjoys play and movement, and what was very surprising for us was that she needs quite a lot of stimulation. The first month was feed me, change me, get me to sleep. That's most of it. But now she actually spends a lot more time awake and wants to be entertained. So she spends a lot of time on her mat, and we have some visual toys that she engages with and stares at and talks to, which we found kind of amazing.
Yeah.
The other thing that she has been doing a lot more of is sleeping, but not particularly through the day or in short stints. She's been sleeping through the night. So last night she slept a full 7 hours, which was amazing for us.
Yes, it's really good.
Our dog actually woke us up instead of the baby, which was also quite surprising.
Yeah.
But this feels like she's starting to get into some kind of circadian rhythm.
Yeah, she seems to understand night and day a little bit more now. Interestingly enough, this longer sleeping has also coincided with our first night away from baby. So we needed to go to a dear friend's birthday party, and we decided it was the first time that we were going to leave Agla with my parents overnight. So they've been taking care of Agla for longer and longer periods of time during the day, so they've never had a sleepover. When we arrived the day after the sleepover with a big bag of croissants under our shoulder and coffees to thank them for their Agla minding, they did look a bit tuckered out, but they did also look happy. So it would have been a few tears at night when Agla was finding it hard to settle, but overall my parents love having her, and being away from her, we missed her, didn't we?
We did. We were very excited to go and pick her up and see how she'd gotten on. Yeah. But, you know, to your parents' credit, we also had a very difficult time on the first night when we had her stay with us at home. So I don't think that there was anything unusual about that. No, and it had been 38 years since they'd last had that experience.
That's right. Yeah.
Full credit to Yolanthe's parents on that.
So we've she's just on 8 weeks, so we've decided that we would like her to try and be comfortable and settle in as many places as possible. So that's why we've been confident to leave her with my folks, and we will begin leaving her at childcare for a couple of days a week in February. So that will probably be a different emotional feeling because they're strangers to us, but we do think that is the right thing for our family.
Yeah, so Iolanthe, how's work?
Work's back. So a couple of weeks ago, I found out that somebody who I have loved working with, who I recruited to take care of my business during this maternity leave period, unfortunately has had to resign. So that was a bit of a shock, because even though I may have only had 3 weeks of official maternity leave left, I had not planned to have to recruit during my maternity leave. So I've kind of gone back, and last week was a really intense week because I had to recruit, I had to interview, I had to do Zoom interviews, if you've ever recruited before, you'll know how many applications come in and how many of them are inappropriate. I actually received a application yesterday from a candidate who said that their experience for working in my social media agency was the fact that they were captain of their university science club, and in their interest it said insert interest 2, 3 and 4. So I'm finding that some of the CVs are not that great, but there's some gold in them, their heels. Having gone back to work a little bit earlier has got me thinking a bit about work and life balance and how I really want my life to look as I reintegrate into formal work. And I really love working, and I found the last week of being back in my work and taking on new business. I've taken on 3 new clients in the last week, which is fabulous. It's really exciting for me to do that. It's fabulous. Does it feel different now I'm a mum? No, the rush of catching and killing, so to speak, is still just as bloody and exciting as it's ever been for me. But I don't want to put myself in a position where my business is under-resourced or I overload existing staff, where they get strung out and the quality of their work drops. So I always want to have a really well-resourced business. I will do a video just on recruitment, do's, don'ts, and my experience with recruitment coming up in the next couple of weeks. But suffice to say that recruitment is tricky, but it's an essential part of running a business if you're wanting to do that work-life balance. Interestingly, the other night we were out, and I was having a conversation with a stranger, pretty much, and she was also a mum, and she had asked me if I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mum, and I kind of thought about it, and I was like, oh, no, not really. I don't ever, I personally haven't aspired to be a stay-at-home mum. A mum, certainly, I've always really wanted to be a mother, but a stay-at-home mum, not really. I wanted to work as well as be a mum. And she asked when I went back to work, or how long would it be till I went back to work, and I said, well, I'm kind of already back, and I explained that we'd be putting our baby into childcare, and I said, I think that that's going to work really well for me. And it was interesting because she said to me, but have you thought about what's going to be best for your baby? And I was quite confronted by this actual comment. It did feel quite, I guess, judgmental, and I confidently responded that I felt that whatever was going to be best for me was best for my family, and thus best for my baby. But I think that if you are a mum or a dad and you're reintegrating into work, you may have people posit commentary about how you choose to do work-life balance. How do you want to do work-life balance? Like you're working now. How are you? What are you thinking about work-life balance as we go deeper into our roles as parents?
I think that my expectations have been changing on a daily basis since we've both been working over particularly last week, and we were kind of rolling with the punches when it came to AGLA. You had Zoom meetings, I had Zoom meetings, and figuring out what that rhythm might be like if we're both working from home and trying to grow our businesses and trying to raise a child if they're not in daycare. So we had 1 or 2 days last week where it was like a relay. So I would be looking after AGLA while you're on some calls, and then you take over while I'm on some calls, and that actually felt like it worked pretty well. I think it would be maybe a bit much, quite a big ask to be doing that all the time, so I'm glad that we do have daycare options lined up, but it's certainly doable, I think, in the way that you and I both operate, since we kind of have some control over how we work. In terms of what that's going to look like moving forward, I think it's a bit of a moving target for me at the moment, because I've just started to newer businesses, and I'm looking at leaving my previous business. So my situation's a bit up in the air. I'm trying to design a work-life balance that will work for me between two businesses plus parenthood, working from home. At this stage, I'm not even sure how I'm going to be going in one of those businesses, what the demands will be in that. It's very difficult to answer that question with it's going to be like this. I'm going to be doing 5 hours of daddy daycare in my work day, and then the rest I'll just smash through my work. I don't think it really is going to work like that at all.
Yeah. When I think about the kind of work balance I think I'd like to work 2.5 days a week, 2 days in the business with full focus, and the other half I consider all the stuff I do in between. So for me, it's not practical to have hard and fast rules around this is only when I work and all other times are verboten. That doesn't really make sense. I need to be able to respond. I don't think that is deleterious to my daughter. So I think that those are some of the things that I've been considering as I've kind of been thrown into the stickier end of recruitments in the last week. But hopefully this time in a couple of weeks we'll have found a wonderful new candidate for Ruby Assembly and we'll be rolling with the punches again. I'm pretty excited about that. Another thing that happened in this month was going to my parents group. So I had initially thought, this is maybe when I was 4 or 5 months pregnant, that a mum's group or a parents group was going to be a really big drag. I'd perhaps be an older mum and not be able to relate to younger mums, or I'd be hanging out with women who just spoke about their babies all the time. Neither of those things sounded appealing, and happily, neither of those things are true about parents group, at least one in Coburg that I've gone to. It was a really diverse group, quite a few older parents, I'd say. There were dads there as well, so it wasn't just mums. I met some lovely folks, some really creative people as well. So if you're feeling a bit reticent about joining a parents group because you think you're going to be the granny there, or you think it's going to be really boring and just talking about nappies the whole time, you're probably not right. They're worth going along to. Upcoming at our parents group, we're going swimming with the babies, we're doing baby sensory, so there's lots of fun things to look forward to. And lastly, I was going to discuss a little bit about socialising with our baby, which we've been doing more of with confidence.
Yes. So we've taken Agla out to the pub twice, and she's been fine. Yes. Both times. Mm-hmm. She didn't start anything with any of the other patrons.
No, she wasn't like, hey, you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? No.
She was really well behaved.
Yeah.
She handled her drink fine.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen how she is in future once she starts learning to push boundaries.
Yeah.
But it's been actually quite joyous. So the first time we took her to the pub was I think it was my birthday actually.
It was her birthday.
And we caught up with some friends there, and I think while she's smaller, we've been told that it might be a bit easier because she stays in her pram or is held, and she's a pretty chilled out baby.
Yeah.
So that hasn't been difficult, but we had a very nice time last week when it was just the two of us decided to drop into a brewery, and she was in great spirits.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I felt really comfortable. I'm I'm really confident and comfortable breastfeeding in public. That's okay for me. I don't feel the need to cover up my heaving bosom either. I feel like it's solidarity in breastfeeding. I quite enjoy doing it. Also, I went out for a mum's lunch with a fabulous a mum who had her baby 2 weeks after me that I went to high school with. She's a fabulous scientist and a very clever and serious woman, and we got to compare notes about what it was like going from being, at the top of our profession to being pregnant while working from home during COVID to then sitting there with our babies and having a 4-hour lunch. And we both, us and our babies, we fed in public, we changed in their change rooms. These things, again, they sound very little achievements, but they're actually part of the confidence of reintegrating into what maybe not what your life was like before, but what your new life looks like. So if you can get out and about with your baby, you'll feel so much more normal. And also, babies love looking at everything. They just love looking around them. Like when we went to the brewery, our daughter was just looking everywhere at the rubber plant trees and the water features. It was just delightful to watch. It was really enjoyable.
Yeah, and she was very well behaved when we went to a friend's house and played board games. And we've taken we've done at least 4 social events with her. I'm sure she enjoyed it just fine, but for us it's been quite revelatory about parenthood is not the end of your social life. I think I certainly know people who are like, your life's over now, everything's different, you just can't do the things you used to do. I think you can do the things you used to do in different ways, and maybe in more limited ways, or there's a bit more planning and a bit more effort and admin involved in doing it. But we've certainly been able to start living the lifestyle that we would like to live. Reconnecting with people that we weren't able to see through COVID and through pregnancy. We can see that the way forward for us as social people, and it's been really encouraging and heartwarming. I would say that the help of Iolanthe's parents is really key to that. They do come over and help us get a few hours of work done every, maybe at least once or twice a week. And they do babysit Ayla at their house, so that we can go and get drunk.
In closing our second month with baby, I think it's fair to say that second month lots happens. It's quite joyful because you're coming together as a family. In light of parents group, going back to work, taking on criticism, rejecting people's ideas about what's right for your family, keeping expectations really loose, I think is important. Sure, have your goal for these are the things I'd like to do this week and I'd like to go out, but if you think that your going out will be the same way it was when you were 23 and going to Revolver, it won't be. But the good thing is that you're not the 23-year-old going to Revolver anymore. You're a different person, and hopefully a more expanded person.
I don't know, that front pack's pretty, portable. We could put it in the front pack and just go up to Revs and smash a few shots.
Yeah, that'd be great. See the meanies. Okay, we're closing Little Mirrors episode 8 we're up to now, and our next episode is going to be both a movie review and a review of a musical. We look forward to seeing you soon. I'm Iolanthe.
And I'm Yule.
Bye.
See ya.